Hey, Drew Barnes here. With the spring session of the legislature now finished, I just wanted to reach out and thank you all for your continuing support. They say a week is a long time in politics, and for conservatives in particular the past 3 years, what a roller coaster. Every time I make that analogy, my wife laughs and elbows me in the ribs and reminds me the roller coasters make me puke. Well, she's not wrong. Now, with Premier Kenney's forthcoming departure, we have been given the opportunity for a fresh start. And the older I get, the more I realize how incredibly rare such opportunities for fresh starts can be. I want to thank all those who made phone calls, wrote letters, sent emails, brought memberships, and worked your butts off to make this turning point possible. We should always give credit where credit is due. And you folks have earned my eternal gratitude. You won a battle some said you could never win. Not for personal gain, but to put our province first, to put Alberta first. So now the race to replace Kenney is now underway, and I'm a little concerned that folks who ignored you and discounted your concerns are already falling back into their bad habits. Even worse, we are already seeing some candidates and their supporters taking personal shots at each other. There's a quote by Eleanor Roosevelt, that is widely circulated on the internet, and it's something to the effect of, "Great minds discuss ideas, small minds discuss people." And if we allow the political chattering class to continue, putting their partisanship ahead of what's best for Alberta, I fear this wonderful opportunity for a fresh start may be lost. I truly believe that if conservative movement is to get it right this time, we have to get back to our core principles and core values, rather than the politics as usual partisan horse race, which didn't work. So let's talk about ideas. Let's talk about the ideas that make our province strong and free. Let's get serious about removing the hurdles that prevent our province from reaching its full potential. Perhaps most importantly, let's talk about the steps we can take to immediately help the little guy and his family get ahead. The last one is perhaps the most important issue that governments never talk about, whether it's Justin Trudeau or Jason Kenney or those vying to replace Jason Kenney. Governments always try to convince you that the economy is great, even in the face of overwhelming data that says otherwise. The fact is that here in Alberta and across much of the Western world, it is getting more and more difficult for the average individual to get ahead. While GDP growth has expanded in recent months, the real wages earned by citizens have been stagnating for decades. Looking ahead, there is little reason for hope under the current economic policies, which seem to be designed by lobbyists to cater to mega corporations, foreign interests, and big box stores. Here is a fact that should shock you. The 40-member OECD is currently predicting that wage growth in Canada will be dead last for the next 4 decades. Dead last. Runaway inflation may benefit the rich, but it disproportionately hurts younger and less established families. Rising interest rates then hurt us all, particularly the middle class. Runaway public debt, resulting in higher taxes and much slower economic growth, comes at a devastating cost for millennials and younger generations. Our kids will be worse off than their parents, and they know it. I talk a lot about Alberta needing a fair deal with Ottawa and our Canadian partners, and for good reason. But now, more than ever, we need to focus on getting a fair deal for Albertans in our economy. The good news is there are a number of steps we can take to get started. Over the next few days, I will be posting a number of videos outlining concepts and actions that should be implemented. In the upcoming videos, I will look at the indexing Alberta income tax brackets, removing the small business tax, energy taxes and how to plan, spend, and save better, how to live within our budget, and many ideas for democratic reform.